Okay, in this section we're going to be doing sum the difference formulas. If you don't have the printout of the formulas, you want to go ahead and take a minute and write these down. We're going to be using these today with our problems. Alright, the first one we're going to have is cosine of 76 degrees times the cosine of 16 degrees plus sine of 76 times the sine of 16, because that may be a little bit blurry, but we want to identify alpha and beta in each of the expressions, and then we're going to write the expression as the sine and cosine of an angle and evaluate it and get an exact value. So give you just a minute to write it down, and you need your formula sheet nearby you because we're going to be kind of toggling back and forth. We want to look for the formula that has cosine times cosine plus sine times sine. So look on your formula sheet and identify which of those are going to give us that. What do you think? If I look back over here, cosine times cosine plus sine times sine, I can see that I'm actually working with this particular identity here. So cosine of alpha minus beta. I'm going to transfer that to our problem. So when I write it over here, now the next thing I need to identify is the alpha and the beta. So what does alpha equal in our particular problem? 76, and what about beta? 16. So if I want to calculate this, it would be cosine of alpha minus beta, which simplifies to cosine of 60 degrees. And on your unit circle, what is the cosine of 60 degrees? Let's evaluate that. Good, 1/2. So we can see how we're going to take this, use our formulas to then evaluate the expression. Alright, let's see another one. Okay, so write the expression as the sine, cosine, or tangent of an angle, then find the exact value. So let's go to our formula sheet. This is hard to read, but it's tangent of 20 plus tangent of 40 degrees divided by 1 minus tangent of 20 degrees times tangent of 40 degrees. So on the top we have a tangent 20 plus tangent 40. So after we write that down, let's go back to our formula sheet. Look at the tangents. Which one has in the numerator a tangent plus a tangent? Good, this one. So it's tangent plus a tangent, and then it fits this format. So we've identified the one associated with it. It's going to be tangent alpha plus beta. So I'm going to transfer that to my problem so we can work with it. This is going to be tangent of alpha plus tangent of beta, 1 minus tan alpha times tangent beta. Our next step is identify our alpha and our beta. What is alpha? 20. What is beta? 40. So according to that, our definition, it says this is equal to tangent of alpha plus beta. Strictly from our formula sheet. So we pull this from our formula sheet. We identified that this matches our given problem. And we've identified alpha to be 20 degrees and beta to be 40 degrees. So when we simplify this, we get, what is the tangent of 60 degrees? It simplifies to be square root of 3. So at this point, you go to your unit circle and evaluate your tangent, which is your sine over your cosine, and then simplify it. Okay, our next problem is a little bit different. This time they tell us to establish the identity. So we want to be able to take this left-hand side and verify or establish the fact that it doesn't equal what this right-hand side is equivalent to. And I said, well, hint, use these formulas. So we have our cosine sum and difference formulas. And I can clearly see that this is cosine alpha plus beta is cosine alpha plus beta. So in this position, I'm going to write this side. Subtract. And then in this position, I'm going to write what this is equivalent to. So basically that would give me cosine alpha cosine beta minus sine alpha sine beta minus, actually I should have wrote that in blue, it would have been a little more helpful. I'll do this one in red. So the next one is going to be, I'm going to do parentheses, so I could do cosine of alpha cosine of beta, so I'm using that bottom formula now, plus sine of alpha sine of beta. So I rewrote this using this, and I rewrote this one using this value. And now we want to simplify. So don't forget to distribute this negative, and that's why I put that parenthesis so that this would be remembered to distribute this negative out, which would then just be cosine alpha cosine beta sine alpha minus the first term and then minus the second term, and then we want to add like terms where possible. And we can see that cosine alpha cosine beta subtracts this cosine alpha and beta, so this cancels. This one's going to cancel with this one, and we're left with -1 sine alpha sine beta, -1 sine alpha sine beta, so this would simplify to -2 sine alpha sine beta, which is equal to our right hand side, and therefore we've established that this is true. Okay, we're going to verify this. This is the next one, so once you write it down, take a minute to do so. And then all we can do is we have our tools. We have formulas for this. So we're going to replace the cosine of alpha minus beta with what our formula tells us and put it over this and see what happens. And see if it simplifies. Okay, after we've done that, we can see that this is two terms over here, so at some point we break this into two. So that's going to be one, and then the other one will be this. Okay, so once you have that written, we can rewrite this as cosine alpha over sine of alpha times cosine beta over cosine of beta sine alpha over sine alpha sine beta over cosine beta, and just see if we start getting something in this nature. So what's cosine over sine? Cotangent, right? Cotangent alpha. This simplifies to just 1, which just gives us this. And then over here, sine alpha over sine alpha is just 1 times tangent of beta. And that's going to finish.